Good afternoon and welcome to another edition of Standpoint. I am Veronica Danik-Boy. It's been a very dramatic week from former President Olusegun Obasanjo's open letter to President Buhari, fast forward into EFCC's arrest and release of former Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Babachir Lawal. The Nigerian political space has been agog with what should be, and what must not be. Today on the show, we will be looking at all these issues, all the controversies, and what Nigerians are saying about it. Joining me in the studio to do justice to this is the Chief of Staff of the Ijaw Monitoring Group, Andrew Elijah. Also joining us is Yinka Odumaki, spokesman for the Pan-Yoruba Social Cultural Group, Afenifere, and Mr. Joe Igbokwe, Publicity Secretary of the All Progressives Congress Lagos State Chapter. Gentlemen, thanks for coming on the show.
Pleasure.
Well, open letters are not strange to former President Olusegun Obasanjo. He has authored several, but his most recent attempt caught many Nigerians by surprise. Obasanjo penned a 13-page letter to President Buhari tagged "The Way Out," a clarion call for the coalition for Nigeria movement. In that letter, Obasanjo rated Buhari's administration as far below expectation, advising him, Buhari, to dismount the horse and join the league of the country's elder statesmen. Obasanjo cited issues of nepotism, poor understanding of internal politics, and passing the buck as crucial signs of Buhari's failings. He asked him to consider taking a well-deserved rest considering his state of health. Well, gentlemen, let me start with you, Joe. Looking at the fact that the former president, Olusegun Obasanjo, is not, he goes to the presidential villa to see the president. Did you expect this kind of outburst from him?
Well, if you know Obasanjo's history, he's good at writing letters. I write letters too. I started writing letters until I came to public space. It's good, there's nothing wrong in that. In a democracy, everybody's at liberty to express himself, and Obasanjo is known for that very well. But my thinking is that he's very close to the president. He would have gone to the president to share thoughts, you know. This is the man that was the president in September last year. How come? What
could have changed?
What has happened between now and then? You see, the president's eyes cannot be everywhere. He will depend on people like Obasanjo that has a background knowledge, has been a president of Nigeria for how many years, you know? 4 years before, 5 years before, 8 years again. So Buhari is a colleague in the army, a 5-star general. So, well, he has direct access to the villa. So why did he not go to, you know, to do that? Some of us feel that something went wrong somewhere, or that he's presenting another agenda. Probably anytime he writes, something happened. Anytime he writes, something happened, but this time I don't know whether it's going to happen.
All right,
the bird cannot fly this time.
Let me bring Yinka in now. Do you share the same view as Joe here, saying that since he has access to the president, he could have just made his mind clear than writing an open letter?
Well, in normal times, I think what you said is the right thing for a former president who has access and the rest of them. But these are unusual times in Nigeria.
Election time, maybe?
No. On 1st of January, 73 people were killed and buried in one day in Benue State.
Okay.
And the president of Nigeria has not said a word directly to Nigerian people. The security team met 2 days ago. The Minister of Defense came out and was saying those who made laws against the anti-grazing bills are the ones who caused the deaths. And people are being killed like chickens everywhere. In Ogun State, teachers were attacked yesterday. Farms were being burnt all over the country. People are being slaughtered like rams every day. And so when a country gets to that point, I think it behoves not only, because what Obasanjo just said, there's nothing unusual in what he said. It's a summary of what all of us have been saying, that things are not going well in this country. And I think what he said should be listened to. He has not said anything. He has not said, oh, in fact, when you look at his letter, like someone was saying yesterday, and letter he wrote to Jonathan in 2015. In that letter, like someone was pointed out yesterday on channel, on a different station, say that in that letter Jonathan in 2014, he was calling Jonathan, this, that. He made reference to Buhari 15 times in the letter, 14 times. He called President Buhari, and last time, my brother. So I think the issues he raised should be looked into. I'm not Obasanjo's fan.
All right, I come to you now, Andrew. What do you make of this letter? Or do you share the same views as they are?
Yes, this letter coming from former President Obasanjo to us, especially we from the Niger Delta. You know, President Obasanjo, particularly with the Jaw people, is not our friend because of the killings in Odi. But at this material time, Obasanjo is a statesman. And people are just looking at the letter in terms of using it as a yardstick to measure performance. The letter is beyond that. It's beyond that. He's simply addressing the crop of the current political cowards that are parading the street of Nigeria. They don't have the boldness. They don't have the boldness, the courage to come out. Right now, what is the alternative? There is no alternative.
When you say there's no alternative, what are you talking? What do you mean?
There's no alternative. So the letter is now urging the political cowards to come up. So President Obasanjo
the use of language, we're on TV, so you have to be careful with your use of language.
Yes. President Obasanjo is an influential think tank in Africa, we like it or not. He's a leader. There are also former leaders. Former presidents are there. There are former leaders. Okay, we have the Democrats and the progressives in the current political system we operate in. But they are all behaving the same way. So look at the killings in everywhere. So even right now, you can see that Asuwaju and others have visited the president. So anybody that is watering down the letter is just deceiving himself.
Are you saying it is because when we asked the letter, if the letter was the reason why the visit of Asuwaju to the State House, it was said it has no correlation. So we cannot point blankly say that that was the reason for the visit.
That is politicians for you. That is politicians.
Were you there? Can you categorically say, were you there to really say that that was the reason why they went for that visit?
Okay, look at it. Why are people talking about performance? People will come up with a lot of indices, but the ordinary people are hungry. Look at the prices of rice. So there are some things you don't need to ask people to tell you. Every Nigerian knows what is happening. So the letter is a good one, and we want them to tighten up their belts, to do what is right. If not, the only area we are looking at, even the former president, the area is that they don't prepare, they don't groom leaders. So you will just see emergency leaders coming up. Emergency leaders. Emergency leader will come up again, will go back to the same process, and as a statement, let him continue to talk. There are other presidents. Talking is good for Nigerians. People don't have the boldness to even challenge the government.
All right, now let's quickly take this break and return to talk more on this topic. Stay with us. All right, you're watching Standard, and we're looking at former President Olusegun Obasanjo's letter to President Muhammadu Buhari. And before we went on the break, Andrew was talking about what's the content of the letter and how it is a reflection of the situation Nigerians are somewhat complaining about, right, if I'm correct?
Yes.
Now, I come to you, Yinka. It's, some say that the president actually played into the hands of former President Olusegun Obasanjo, especially with his handling of certain things and situations in the country. Do you share the same view?
Well, in the handling of most things, the style of the presidents has been given rise to worries. For instance, like I said, we were in Benue last week, leaders of various groups from the South and Middle Belt. And we made a visit on a Wednesday. We were to go to Benue on Monday. And then the chief of staff to the governor told me, no, we cannot do this on Monday. We are going to Abuja to see the president. And I said, so when I go there, I said, well, if such a tragedy happened in the States, it's the presidency that should go to Benue to go and see the people, commiserate them, not the victims, those who are mourning, bereaved, being summoned to Abuja. And only to be shocked when we get to Benue to learn that the presidency did not even invite them. They asked for the appointment almost 2 weeks after over 70 people were killed, buried, and not a word of commiseration, and the rest of them. So, and when you look at this in so many ways, and when they got there, what did he tell them? Himself, he said, oh, go and live in peace with your neighbors. The same tone we find in the Minister of Defense, oh, your foreigners should be accommodated, even foreigners in quotes. Oh, you find it also from the IG of police. Oh, those killer herdsmen, are they not Nigerians? This is not how when the country is run this way, general lovers of the country will be worried that what's going on here? The Fulani herdsmen who have been carrying AK-47 all over Nigeria for the past 3 years, not one directive, disarm them. AK-47, it's only the Nigerian government that can import AK-47 to Nigeria. Individuals cannot import it. Yet, all these boats, they are flinging it on their necks all over the place. And not a directive. Go to Abuja now, cows all over the streets. In fact, there was support of cows moving to the villa, CBN everywhere, and the rest of them. What is going on? So, when everything continues to go like this, people are bound to be worried. In any case, for the first time in this country, because once you also talk about nepotism, clannishness, for the first, it hasn't happened in this country that you have the DG of Internal Security Nigeria, DGSSS, and External Security, NIA, both from Katsina. And especially the DG NIA, who led the service in the controversial circumstances. What recommended him to be the DG of NIA? So when you run things like this way, definitely you are bound to create worries in the polity that what's going on here.
All right, Joe, you might want to react to that statement. I see you are trying to hold yourself somehow.
Well, I'm not forcing to hold myself. I'm just listening to what he's saying. You know, I condemn the killings in Benue State. I condemn all the killings that had taken place even before that one. It's not today. It didn't start today. It has been a recurring decimal. And it's not only a Nigerian problem. It's the whole of West Africa, up to Cameroon. You have this crisis. The other day, the Ghanaian president said he doesn't want to see cows on the street again. It's been a recurring decimal in northern Ghana. That's number one. Number two is that, so it's a global issue in West Africa.
But the handlings is our focus.
Let nobody, I repeat, let nobody run away with thinking that the president is siding a particular group, probably because he's a Fulani man, he's a Fulani president, and therefore he's supporting the Fulani people.
Possibly
I don't want to go to that side.
Possibly why, if I may cut in, possibly why people are saying that is because IPOB was, he proscribed IPOB as being a terrorist organization. They didn't go as far as the killings.
I wouldn't want, IPOB is from my side. I wouldn't want us to link Fulani herdsmen with the issue of IPOB. It's a different game altogether.
I agree.
IPOB wants a separate state. A separate state. So better don't bring it to the table, and that one is potentially more dangerous than these local, I call them local people. They have been fighting, they have been killing one another. It's not only Fulani people that are killing them. The people they are also killing them. It's been happening. Even they killed more people when Jonathan was in power than what we have seen now. But this is not to say that we're encouraging this. I believe that when this kind of thing happens, yes, he said the president would have visited. I mean, I'm on the same page with you. But you know, the president gets information. He gets information. When you have this kind of situation, especially the one that has been a recurring decimal, you begin to think of how to decimate the problem, how to deal with the problem. You know, you wait for information, you know, before you act. And this thing sometimes can take time. It's not that the president is, does not want to talk about it because his people are involved. I don't want to believe that. He needs time to know what is happening. And I know they're dealing with the challenge. Well, I know they're facing the problem. Anybody who tells me that, oh, he's folding his hands, it's okay, let them go and fight and kill one another. I don't want to believe that. He's as concerned as we do here. It's just that he didn't do what we think he's supposed to do. That he didn't act. You said he didn't invite Benue people to come, the governor. They went on their own, and he couldn't have stopped them. But their deal then is to go and see those people. I always watch the president of the United States. Anytime there's a disaster, the president will speak. And institutions go to work. That's why I'm worried about this. What are the institutions doing? I'm talking about the army. I'm talking about DSS, other security agencies. What are they doing? The president will make a pronouncement, condemn the killings, and then, without waiting for the president, the institutions go to work and do their duty. What the president will assure you is that we will get the killers. We will get the killers. We will get the terrorists. And you see the institutions moving to work. The president don't need to go and follow them to go and do the work. Because that's why they are there. Nigeria is not at war with any nation. So why will we not deal with this local, how many are they? All right. So I think the presidency is thinking how to nip the problem in the bud. From the source, where it's coming from. All right. And then,
All right, quickly, we have Lawrence on the line. Lawrence, are you there? Go ahead with your contribution.
I'm there. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, I greet the three wise men there.
Thank you.
Yeah. My name is Lawrence. I'm calling from Maburino State.
All right.
Yeah, on the issue of Obasanjo letter, I look at the letter. There is nothing Obasanjo said in that letter that Nigeria did not know with this Mr. President. But way forward is what did Nigeria want. During the tenure of Obasanjo, we know what he did, and we cannot separate the messenger and the message. Do we know if he's the president, he won't even tolerate this kind of criticism? That's not the issue. The issue is about if the current president is not working for Nigeria, Nigeria should start looking for alternatives, not to continue. We should mobilize people, get your voters card. If the president, if you disagree with the president, let's walk way forward. That's number one. Number two, all the appointee of Mr. President, especially the security, he is the one that appointed them. And when things got wrong, it will be irresponsible. It is not possible to appoint all internal security in one region and expect them to deal with it.
All right, thank you, Lawrence, for your contribution. I come to you now. Andrew, you might want to react to what the caller just said.
Yes, I think it's in line with what is happening. And a situation where you employ managers, and these people are not competent to manage what you mandated them to do. What is left for you to do as the leader? As the leader, we are talking about people are dying. It's human beings. People are dying. If the human beings are not there, who are you going to rule? So now people are dying. We are talking about time. And that is the primary concern of government. It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. And former President Obasanjo, as a statesman, what he has done is very good for even the party, the APC, so that they should look inward. For now, every part of the country knows that we are still expecting candidates from the north. And now within the party, the APC, we have materials. They said they are having the progressive agenda. Today you can see that Ambode is more popular than even the super ministers you are talking about.
Is it just the party in power, APC, that has to look inward? How about other parties?
The party,
things,
because we are talking about 2019.
Aren't these crucial things they should look at, even if they are looking at coming into government in 2019?
Yes, the letter is simply addressing the party leaders. To be bold, there are some people that are just deceiving the president. They are just clapping hands for him. So with this type of letter, I'm telling you, this type of letter will even encourage some people now to walk up to the president and tell him something. So former President Obasanjo have done very well.
All right. We have Amina on the line calling from Mina. Are you there, Amina?
Hello?
Amina, are you there?
Yes.
Well, we move on now. It didn't take long for the presidency to...
Please, there should only be praying.
Oh, okay, Amina.
So that, yes, I'm there.
Go ahead.
We should only be praying so that these evil things should go away.
All right, are you done? Well, I guess Amina is done with her comment. Well, it didn't take long for the presidency to reply Obasanjo's letter. The Minister of Information, Lai Mohammed, after the Federal Executive meeting on Wednesday, released a statement where he dismissed criticisms of the former president. He also used the opportunity to get out giant strides by the Buhari administration, while noting that Obasanjo might have missed certain key developments because of his
engagements. You know.
Yes, his busy engagements. But again, from let's quickly listen to the Minister of Information speaking.
We believe that Obasanjo, because of his very busy schedule, not have been fully availed of developments in the government's effort to revamp the economy, which was battered by the consequences of over-dependence on a single commodity, as well as unprecedented pillaging of the treasury. Today, most of the indices by which an economy is measured are looking up.
Well, I come now to you, Joe. How busy can you be that you wouldn't really know what is going on in your environment?
I mean, the former vice president. Anyway, I think the minister is just trying to play with words, you know. But, you know, this is one of the most appropriate response that we've seen so far. You know, the impression we get after that letter is that this government is not performing, people are dying, people are hungry and all that. And I said, have we forgotten where we're coming from? You know, my people used to say, if you don't ask of what killed your father will kill you. And I saw a response. They were able to the minister was able to put some of the things, you know, and debunk the argument that the man has not achieved anything. You know, after all, it's part of what was in Obasanjo's letter that this government has not achieved much. But I told you he was praising the president in September last year.
Of course.
That he's fighting insurgents and he's fighting corruption.
He said two key things that brought the government in.
Our biggest problem in this country is corruption. Everything will lack, almost everything will lack and be traced to corruption. And this government has done very well.
But he mentioned how the MENA gate, that particular issue, and how it was handled.
The president has also told us that he must achieve 100%. You know, because you are not there, you may not know what is going on. You may not know what is going on. We are just outsiders. The president has information. He has information. And I want to tell you that this president is not a failure.
But what is done with that information is what Nigerians measure, isn't it? Yeah, go ahead. I'm asking
you. I looked at Alhaji Lai Mohammed reading that speech, and I saw that, look at his composure. You can see that I think they didn't expect this letter one. And when you look at the whole response, you can see that it caught them unawares. And 80% of the letter was just devoted to rehashing. We have done this, we have done that, we have done this, we have done the economy and this.
But it has not been said before.
But the key is, they've said it before. The key is,
this government has never said this is what we have done. But, you know, they were compelled to come out and say, look, what are people talking about? Yeah. This is what we have achieved. Yeah. And I've been expecting people to expunge this. I have not seen
most of those achievements listed earlier, they fly in the face of reality. Look, even, you don't need Obasanjo to do now. For MBS, just go to MBS. The statistics that have been coming out from MBS, In 2017 alone, 4 million jobs were lost. Now, you are saying, oh, and in fact, you said you inherited empty treasury. Then you said you had $34 billion.
24. Now 40.
Now, but beyond that, is the street smiling?
Do you need to share? Do you need to share money from house to house to know that?
It's not about sharing. It's about the way the economic is affecting the people. On all the indices today, you check it. Even read your newspapers, the rate of people are committing suicide. Oh yes, the workers are not paid. All over the place, bailouts have been given. Now, what's important here, and I think which even Obasanjo stop short of, and which we'll be interested in, because enough of lamentations. Where do we go from here?
Of course.
The issue here in Nigeria today, because we should not allow them to get us to where we were in 2015. Oh, anything but Jonathan. It should no longer be anything but Buhari. I agree that there are problems with the Buhari decisions, but it will not be right to say that every problem we face in Nigeria today is about Buhari. There are issues that go beyond them, except that where they have compounded the issue is their refusal to address the root cause of the problem. Look, we knew all the promises they have made.
I have to take you back. What do you mean by their refusal?
Their refusal was their refusal to look at the structure of this country, which President Buhari, even in January 1 book, as saying it's our process, not structure. It's about the structure. Look, in 1983, when General Buhari overthrew Shagari, Shagari's budget for 1983 was $25 billion. We were 8 million then. 3 or 4 weeks ago, when Buhari presented 2018 budget, he presented 8.6 trillion naira. When you take that to dollar, that's $23 billion. $2 billion short of our budget in 1983. Now we are 180 million people.
If you could just hold the thought, we have a caller on the line. Aziz, calling from Kebbi. Are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
Please go ahead. Good afternoon.
Yeah, I am seizing this opportunity to call the attention of Mr. Odomaki, because he is putting a lot of people into jeopardy by his singular action of going all around and saying a lot of things. You should remember there are Yorubas that he represents that are living elsewhere, not in the southwest. I doubt whether if he has ever lived in any part of this country except in the southwest. So there is a need.
All right, Aziz, I guess he's off the line. You can go ahead with your thought.
Yeah. So we should not state the truth, because, and what have you said? See what he's threatening, he's using threats. Nobody has used any threats here. All we are saying is the obvious fact of what's going on. You cannot run the country like this. So now, what I was saying is that even if we stop corruption, which are not able to stop, because even the corruption that is coming out today,
you're not going to stop corruption completely, but to reduce it.
I'm even saying that. I'm even saying you that even if we stop corruption completely today, let's say that not one naira is stolen. From 1983 to 2008, it shows that the economy is shrinking. We are increasing. 80 million people, $25 billion. 180 million people, $23 billion. So there's no magic Buhari or anybody can do in the midst of this. Therefore, we must address the fundamentals. Where do we go from here? Do we want to continue on the basis of this rentier economy, collecting oil rents, and go and share in Abuja every month? When there are mineral resources in every part of Nigeria, which we are not touching now because the constitution says that only the federal government can touch it?
Okay.
These are the fundamentals.
Yinka is talking about restructuring. That's not the business that we're here for. You see, this is election season.
Yes.
And my take is that some people are trying to render nugatory what this president had achieved, you know, in less than 3 years. In less than 3 years. A lot is on the table. But, you know, some people would not want to see that. They are painting a picture that nothing has happened. And we need to say it. You need to look at indices. You're talking about statistics. A lot is going on. A damage that was inflicted in this country in the past 16 years need to take time to heal. And this man is doing it. He's doing it. He's not perfect. There are certain things some people don't want to see. They don't know. They don't know what is going on all over the country. I'm talking about infrastructure. Because that's what you need to drive this economy and move business up.
Quickly, that's what, if you could just hold the thought, we have Alex on the line. Alex, are you there? Go ahead with your contribution.
Hello, good afternoon.
Afternoon. Go ahead.
My name is Alex. I'm calling from Abuja.
Yeah.
Please, I want to decide.
Alex, if you can, please call again. Go ahead, please.
Okay. I just want to look at where we are now, where we were before and where we are now. I think some people have refused to see what is going on. They want this government to fail so that they can have something to say. But no, this government is dealing with the problem of this country, the battered economy, the battered nation, building from nothing, almost nothing. You can see we talked about movement from $24 billion of foreign reserve to about 40. Probably some people think that we need to bring the difference and share it so that we know that government, or share it from house to house so that we know the government is working. Or the 1.3 trillion that was invested in infrastructure last year, and we're likely to repeat the same thing this year, is nothing. I come from Southeast. And I know that major roads in the Southeast were abandoned for 16 years. And there's work going on in that place now. And these things have been repeated all over the South,
so
all over the states
are
in the Southeast.
you saying that with the contents of the letter and not things that are happening in the country?
No. The letter, yes. I told you, the letter may be an attempt, you know. I like Obasanjo, but I think he's having, because if you look at the kind of people, structure is setting up, you will know that he has little agenda. He wants some.
Is that what it reflects for you, Andrew?
If you look at what he's setting up, he has
I need Andrew to say something.
I want to finish something before.
Let me even draw him back to when he said that IPOB was asking for a separate country. Okay, if a group is they are very vocal, they are not carrying arms, they are just demanding for a different state, then there is another group of people, those people are just killing people. So on what basis are you now saying that the military can say IPOB is a terrorist group, and those that are killing people? And when we even talk about the APC, the progressives, their agenda is reforms. What are their reforms they have brought to the table?
The thing is that we need to rise above primordial sentiments and ethnic.
And now look at it. Somebody
is that what it is for you, Andrew? Is it about sentiment? Are you speaking?
No, it's not sentiment. Like with the people that are calling don't know the likes of Mr. Inko Dumaki. They need to go and read. These are people who have been speaking for this country.
We've been speaking also.
No, it's all of us. Like now, somebody from
everybody has
Niger Delta. President Obasanjo in 2011.
It's you that I don't know.
2011. In 2011, supported Goodluck Jonathan. Because in 2015 he did not. If the man come up with something that is good because we are angry. No, we don't do that. The present government, the reforms, there are no reforms. These things don't translate to the ordinary people.
This is where I disagree.
Joe, let me come in. Let me come here, Joe. A minute. Because we are talking glowingly. Because if foreigners are watching us now, they'll think that, Nigeria's, there's some other Eldorado here. The Minister of Works, Babatunde Fashola, said 2 weeks ago that throughout 2017, his ministry did not carry out any single capital project. It's in the papers. In 3 years, this administration has not commissioned one project that we started and they're finished. Not one. They have put us into 7 trillion naira debt in 2 years. The money they have borrowed. These are statistics. I'm not like it's public records. So this question of, we have voted so for infrastructure, we vote same thing, we vote money have been voted. But where is the performance?
I'm from the South.
Yes.
And I know work is going on. I'm talking about Southeast now. Okay, Southeast. Yeah. I know work is going on in Enugu, Port Harcourt Expressway, Enugu Onisha Expressway, Okigwe, Newe Okigwe. These are federal roads And I know also that work is going on Second Niger Bridge. Now they did not give us 16 years. We feel it. And I have to say it here. And I know that the same thing is happening. Yes, he didn't start Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, but I know I was with you here when you said Obasanjo did not fix Lagos-Ibadan Expressway.
Yes.
That Obasanjo wasted Yoruba 8 years. A sitting governor told me. This is Obasanjo that is writing letter now. A sitting governor in the Southwest told me that he wasted Yoruba chance for 8 years to rule this country. He wasted it. So these are not people who did not do what they're supposed to, not support other people who are doing something. How many votes did he get from Southeast? 193,000. 193,000.
5%.
It didn't stop him from doing what other people have not done. Other heads of state have done. And that's why we say, look, you cannot debase this man. You cannot demean this man. You cannot demarket this man. This isn't. That's the plan. That is the plan.
That is the plan?
If they are who want to demarket, I'm not saying that nobody want to demarket him. He is demarketing himself the way things are being handled in the country. Look, you talk about IPOB now, IPOB and Fulani herdsmen. Fulani herdsmen that have been declared fourth dangerous terrorist group in the world.
In the world, yes.
You keep quiet. IPOB that did not kill a soul, you get any terrorists. Now, Obasanjo they are abusing. I told you I'm not Obasanjo's fan. But when Obasanjo was president of Nigeria, what happened? When OPC and Fulani happened in Southwest, and to the guy who called for Kebbi,
yes,
you should listen to this. When there was a problem between IPOB, OPC and Fulani people in Lagos, what did Obasanjo do? In fairness to him, Obasanjo said, he told the police, shoot any OPC you see at sight. Not, in fact, I was with Senator Addison, I called him, how dare you? We have not even investigated what happened. You said we should shoot people at sight. What Obasanjo was trying to do? He was trying to show that because OPC was from the side of the country, he was not backing them. And now, these were now killing all over the place. Yesterday, they see backing some teachers in Ogun State. They burned Bishop Farm just yesterday in the Yawode, thousands of crops. And
the killing is not just in one part of the country.
This is telling us that, when the bomb Fulani farm, it's not about presidency. What's the presidency all about? So if the people want to demarcate him, is giving them the ammunition.
And then weapons
are going. Of course.
To the enemy.
Yes.
Let me now add something.
Quickly, because we need to move forward.
Because we are talking about Mondo economy.
Yeah.
And up till now, I want to tell you, it is the oil that is sustaining this country. The maritime university to kick off, this government is playing politics with that. To the fairness to the Niger Delta people, is that fair? Is that fair? Just the maritime university, last time the Attorney General of the Federation came up with another funny story. That change of name. Okay, let the government call it Nigeria Maritime University of Niger Delta. What is the name about that is there? Release the money and let this university take off. The APC government have not done anything for the Niger Delta people. It's unfortunate. And with the killings that are going on, we have to be very, very tactical. They have said they have conquered the Boko Haram. Now the thing have turned in another style. Going to every state, killing are taking place. Killing are taking place. And we are not going to accept it.
Okay. All right, let's quickly move forward now. Barely 24 hours after former President Obasanjo's letter, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, picked up the former secretary to the government of the Federation, Babachir Lawal, in Abuja. Babachir Lawal had been suspended and subsequently sacked after an indictment by a presidential panel investigating the misuse of funds meant for internally displaced persons. Many had wondered about the president's silence over the report of the panel months after it was submitted. Hence the thought that the arrest may have been prompted by Obasanjo's letter. He was subsequently released on administrative bail on Friday. Could it have been the letter that sparked off this arrest, Joe? This letter that you think it's about... Coincidence. Coincidence?
But I know there would have been plans. No, okay. Let me just say, because I'm facing the nation. You see, we must not dismiss that letter, even though it's coming at the time that is not too good for us. We must not dismiss that letter. You see, when a former president talks, you cannot just dismiss it with a wave of hand. So, but I'm not saying that the arrest of Baba Bashir is just a consequence of that letter. There may have been, you know...
No, because Nigerians were waiting for a reaction, and that didn't happen until after the letter.
Well, probably a coincidence, but I don't think. You study before you... Because you need to look at things before you take action. You need to make some investigations. You need to know what went wrong. You need to... Because
there was a panel. There was a panel that came that did the investigations
by the Vice President.
Yes, Vice President. Yeah. And they brought their reports after 2 weeks. The stipulated timeline. I mean, Yinka.
In fact, the thing is that you know when this all started, when the Babachila was fired, and said journalists accused said you have been fired by several president. He said who's presidency? This was the man that came on national television and said, I'm a member of the cabal. And so when they now had to sacrifice him and ask him to go and bring his, and they had appointed his nephew to replace him, he went home. AFCC, when AFCC was accused, why are you not go after this man and say, oh, we have set up, he cracked him 2 months ago. Now, Obasanjo wrote a letter 24 hours after now, you vetted this man, and there have been and insinuations show me that the evil spirit visited there was actually and the child died in the morning. Was actually kept in the guest house. It's a suggestion that was not actually kept in the guest house.
But we will not play politics with everything. We will not play politics with everything.
By and large, on a much more serious note, I think that the way corruption allegations have been handled made a senator of APC, Shehu Sani, to say on the floor of the Senate that when corruption involves those who are not in the book administration, you bring out all your state side. But when it comes to those who are your cabal, your inner circle, you use deodorants. So I think I want to think that the invitation to Babachila was on PR to douse the Obasanjo letter, and now he's been asked to go home. But we cannot be seen to say that we are still fighting corruption when we have different yardsticks to fight it. It must be across the board. And I must say that in the history of Nigeria up to now, and that's why no president has been able to do that, in terms of fighting corruption effectively.
Even this one?
No.
Even this one?
When they made that election against your staff, what happened? When Babachila when Kachiku and Baru happened, what did happen? Next thing, they went to hug themselves. Family affair. So,
are you not seeing the results? Are you not seeing the results?
Of?
I mean, what we have recovered from
so
people.
let me.
Okay, let me just say the customs. How much we were getting before, how much we are getting now. Look at JAMB, how much we got in 6 years, 51 million, and one man, Professor Loyede, was able to bring 7.8 billion in 1 year.
For the
ghost workers.
That money that has been realized, has it translated to the lives of Nigerians?
No, we are not seeing it.
Even for
then you see people crying, all over all the streets.
See, I have told you that government does not share money. See, let me tell a little story about myself. I came out of university in 1985. I don't know, we're running out of time.
Quickly.
In 1985, these things were happening.
All right, let's go back. Let's go back to dealing with certain issues now. I come to you, Andrew. Joe has been talking about the timing of this letter and how it is trying to diminish or demean, rather, the personality of the president. Now, is this going to set the tone for 2019 elections? Do you think?
Yes, it will help the party APC to a large extent. So that some of these professional hijackers,
because they force them to bring out the facts.
Professional hijackers that's always manipulating the president, we respect themselves. So it's good for the party APC. And I believe generality of Nigerians are crying. All the content of that letter, that is what is happening. So we can't deny that. So it's good for even the other party, the PDP, if they know what is happening in the country. We want leaders, proactive leaders. We are not saying that President Buhari as a person, everybody knows that he's a straightforward man.
All right,
but you need to, those that you employ to manage strategic areas, needs to be looked into.
All right, we have Ibrahim on the line. Are you there? Go ahead with your contribution quickly.
Yes, hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Ibrahim. I'm calling from Kaduna.
All right.
This letter you are talking about, you know, as a former head of state of Obasanjo, we respected him in the north very well. And but what is happening is that he is seeking for more recognition. Look at what he has done to Yaradua. He praised him, and later he condemned him. The same thing with the Jonathan. And now is the turn of Buhari. He praised him and now try to condemn him, all in the name of seeking recognition. The issue is that we expect him, being the person that assists, also contribute to the Buhari, you know, emergence to presidency. He could have, you know, he has the right to meet him right in the office. He has been visiting Bila. Maybe now that Buhari, maybe he is busy doing something, he don't relate to him as much as he expected. Now he wrote this letter, you know, to say all those things. But we respect him quite okay, and there is need for him to always, you know, being a philanthropist, you know, to tackle the issues that will unite the Nigeria instead of bringing issues that will condemn or disunite Nigeria. This is what I have to contribute. Thank you very much.
All right, Ibrahim, thank you for your contribution. Well, quickly, the letter, we need to move forward. How do we look beyond the letter to move Nigeria forward? Because what he's saying is he's looking for persons who can come together, develop the country. In his letter, that was what Obasanjo said. So, but we need to beyond.
The movement is...
we don't know whether it's a political party he's trying to talk about.
It's a political party.
But then the issue is, how do we move forward from this letter, picking what he has pointed out?
Well, the letter is an advice. And I think we still have, the presidency have a year and a half to put his house in order and act quickly. You cannot dismiss that letter. That's what I'm saying. But we must not also forget the political undertone of that letter and Obasanjo's activities in recent times. If an attempt is being made to demarcate, demean, debase, and destroy the APC presidency because you want to float an organization and satisfy some people, it will fail.
Quickly.
Well, for me, clearly, I think that the discussions the letter has generated should help the major parties, the APC, the PDP, to put their house in order. And for other forces who have other ideas about how this country should govern, to also come up and present themselves. Because let 1,000 flowers blossom. It's about contestation for the soul of this country.
All right, Andrew, quickly.
Yes, we need proper managers of the economy. That is what Nigerians, is food on their table. We want to eat. We want to eat, and the government is not providing food for the people. So there is hunger in the land and killings.
All right, gentlemen, thank you for coming on the show and thank you for your contributions. Well, that's how we wrap up the show today. Thanks so much for watching. Remember, you can watch the repeat of the show tomorrow by 7 a.m. I'm Veronica Danik Boy. Bye for now. Enjoy your weekend.